Hello everyone, and welcome to Overgrowth Weekly number 56. I am Silverfish, and here today is not Anton Real. Unfortunately, he could not make it due to work. Here instead is Mr. Aaron. Say hi. Oh, damn it. Yeah, say hi, Aaron.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, I think your mumble is muted. Hello.
I should also mention that today is January 8th. I think I didn't say that. So what's up, Aaron?
I'm joining the show today because Anton is unfortunately busy with a last-minute recording session, so I'm gonna help out Silverfish today.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have a little special announcement at the end. I guess this is the reason that especially you are on the show, because it's related to you. So you should, guys, you should look forward to that. Right at the end of the show, if you look under news, there's the secret announcement, and it's big. It's big. But yeah, let's get on with the show. So, as usual, we will start out with let's see. Bam. Yeah, there we go. Okay, as usual, we will start out with the latest alpha. As per usual, alpha 1.6.3 this time. Let me actually load that in a new tab. There we go. Okay, so this week David has been working on getting bushes to work properly, mostly. If we take a look at the first point, automatic plant pivot points. Unfortunately, the plant stuff is not working for a lot of people, including me. The problem is that when he loads in the images for the plants to create the convex hulls from the point cloud, it wants to use the original DDS image, or what am I saying? Not the DDS image. It wants to use the original image, like TGA or whatever format it is. But they do not include the original images when they ship the game because they're bigger. So they're using compressed images, and they just don't work. But this should be fixed in the next alpha, fortunately. Alright, let's jump into this. Automatic plant pivot points. As you can see in the video here, if we jump forward to right there, you see this little dot, the white dot right there. It indicates where the pivot point of the plant will be. And so the plant will spin around that pivot point and, you know, act much more realistically than they've been doing before, because before the whole plant have been like rustling and it hasn't been looking very, very great.
Yeah, it's great how David comes up with these things. He's always had these great ideas, it seems like, for creative ways to solve problems or to just make things better. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's just crazy. He just comes up with these great ideas that you've never actually seen before, and it's pretty insane. Whoa, why did I close that? I want that. I do want. Alright. And then we have automatic plant convex hulls from Point Cloud. I think we talked a bit about this last week. What it does is it generates a convex hull, like a collision mesh, from points that it samples from the branches of, well, branch-like objects that have like leaves and stuff like that, so that you cannot collide with things that you should not be able to collide with. So if you look at the video again, the actual mesh, the actual objects from one of these, let's see, if we jump forward, there we go. This is how the actual mesh looks like. You see that this thing goes out over there, for instance. So if you're walking through this and he was just using this mesh to check if you collided with it, then it would rustle even if you didn't actually collide with it, because, yeah, you want it just to rustle when you collide with the actual leaves. So he samples points, as you can see, on these bushes. He samples these points. And he uses them to create one of these convex hulls, as you can see, these collision hulls that he is then instead using to do the collision. It's the most brilliant solution ever, and he just... It's crazy. I don't know. I mean, some other developer would probably be like, yeah, if you're making a bush, you'll have to make a collision mesh for the bush to make sure that the player can collide with it at all.
Yeah, David definitely has a good attention to detail.
Mm-hmm. And moving on, that was the automatic plant convex hulls, and then we have first draft of plant interaction sound effects. So when you're interacting with the plants, they say, which is
nice
always
sound
great.
effect.
Yeah, thanks. I can not only voice act, I can also do sound effects. So if you're looking for sound effects and voice acting in your video game, I can do everything. Just send an email to ogweekly@gmail.com. Plants slow player movement based on penetration amounts. Yes, absolutely. When you're moving into the bushes, you're now slowed down as well. So they also impact the actual gameplay, which is, of course, great. Like he says in the video, it makes the plants feel more like they're actually there, more than just being like fog.
Yeah, I thought it was great how, I mean, even just like falling through trees can either damage you or force you to ragdoll. It adds a lot to the game, I feel. Little details like that.
I fully agree. Next we have leaves spawn from the point cloud when you run through them as well, so there's the leaf effect. Next we have improved AI response when group defeats player, and this is like a very small detail. It feels very insignificant. I guess it was just really easy for him to add or something like that. But what it does is when the player is defeated, instead of the AI just instantly turning around and walking away, they will kind of walk up to the body and then will just walk away a little bit, and then they'll return to their path. So they'll be more realistic, doing what a person would be doing if they just killed a guy. They probably wouldn't just just instantly turn around and walk away if they saw that he was hit in the face with a foot or something.
Yeah, double check that.
Yeah, I think I can actually demonstrate this, but actually it's not very much fun to look at, so I'm probably going to skip that. Next we have navigation works better when navigation mesh is not calculated, and I actually don't know what this does, but of course it's great that the navigation works better. So yeah. Next, fixed hop when entering display text hotspot. This was a bug from the previous alpha where if you entered a display text hotspot, you would just do a little hop, like whoop, like you were suddenly in the air, but you didn't really jump. It was really weird, and now that's fixed, so that's good as well.
Yeah, I think he just had that in there initially for testing purposes, and you can still add that kind of stuff in if you want to script it yourself. So that functionality is still available. But by default, probably not the best thing for every single time you want to see text to hop up in the air a little bit.
Yeah, maybe it's just scared. It's like, whoa, the text.
Startled.
Yeah. All right. So back to that. Okay, right now the weekly alpha is complete. Let's add the checkboxes, of course, by learn_more. I'm still very grateful for those.
Very nice checkboxes.
Yeah, they're cool. So that was the weekly alpha, alpha 163. We'll of course cover the next alpha when it comes out within like 24 hours. It's going to be very soon. But we won't actually cover it until the next Overgrowth weekly, of course. Alright, next up we have the community segment, where we take a look at what the community has been up to as of late. So first up here is the fan art watch as usual. We're going to shorten the fan art watch by quite a bit. We're testing out a new thing here right now. So let's jump over to there. Here we have the fan art for this week. So I've kind of
compressed version.
Huh?
The compressed edition.
Yeah, the compressed edition, exactly. So we're taking the fan art from the week, and then we're like putting it into one image so we can get through the fan art, because we thought that it was taking up a lot of time on the show. So yeah, we're testing out these new segments. Okay, so here we have first to the left you see Shiny Gems new images. He has created 4 new images this week. Only 1 of those are colored. And of course he's doing a nice job as usual.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of an interesting concept to do the furless cat.
Yeah, absolutely. I
And there
like
are
the
kind of like applications I might have for the game. Maybe it could be like a shame sort of thing, like in Exile. Maybe they shave the cat if they do something wrong and they send them out to exile or something along those lines.
yeah, that would be cool.
Embarrassing.
It's kind of like that, but at the same time, I mean, naked cats feel almost more aristocratic than normal cats.
Yeah.
They feel almost even more like if you put fancy clothes on a naked cat, he will feel even more noble, so to speak, or important. So
Yeah,
I
he's
guess
got that kind of old, like, wise sort of look to him.
yeah, exactly. And then in the bottom right we have Wide-Eyed Smiles, which is a nice name. Who did that rabbit there? And I think that rabbit just looks really cool.
Yeah.
That image has just a very nice feeling to it. Yeah, I just really like it. It's nice.
Yeah, I like the simplicity of it, that it's got the nice shading.
Yeah. And in the top right we have an image made by me. It's actually a 3D image rendered in made in Blender, rendered with cycles. Yeah.
It just looks great, by the way.
Thanks, man. I've just used im assets from Overgrowth, and then I put that in a scene and rendered it out, so of course I had to light it as well. But anyways.
Yeah, I like it because the quality just seems so nice, and the coloring and all that, it's got a very nice feel to it.
Thanks. Of course you can find all of these fan art images on the fan art forums. Just go to the Wolfire forums and then you go to wolfire.com, go to the message board. Let's actually go there right now, and then you go to the Wolfire forums and then into the fan art thread, and here you have 81 pages of fan art and discussion about fan art.
Yeah, no shortage of that.
Yeah, no shortage whatsoever. Well, that's the fan art watch. Next we have a mod. It's the Blood Plus No Death mod by Last. That was updated. And he actually updated it twice this week, and he added some more stuff. He added some more options for slow motion instead of just one. And yeah, it's just shaping up to be a really, really cool mod. I'm actually going to see if I can show you this mod. I have a video that I recorded, and it's going to be uploaded to the OG Weekly channel in a while. Let's see. I actually do not have it rendered, it looks like. Yeah, unfortunately I don't have it rendered yet. But there will be a video about this mod. Actually, since he updated it again, I'm probably going to have to make a new video. Anyways.
It's great though. I mean, it's really evolved from being a one little mod for, you know, changing how long the blood stays around, to being this whole suite of options you can have in game now. All these different settings, and it's actually a really useful tool. It's really great.
Yeah, absolutely. As you can see, here's the menu right there. You just press escape, and then when you're in the editor, and then you hit like game menu button, that's a new button, and you get this menu, and you can like turn on and off loads of mods. And of course he added a mini-map mod made by another user, let's see, by Dr. Jester. So it's like just a collection of a lot of mods, and yeah, it's just really great.
Yeah.
So look forward to a video about that on the Overgrowth Weekly YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/OGWeekly. Next we have, let's see, we have the Oni mod by EDT. And in this mod, forum user EDT has gotten a bunch of characters into the game from the game Oni. And for this one I actually do have a video that I can show you guys. So let's play that in the background. Hi, my name is Silverfish. Let's turn off the sound there. And yeah, these characters are just really cool because they are human characters. They don't have the extra, what's it called? The extra joint in like their lower leg that all the rabbits have.
Yeah, it still seems like they map into the game pretty well. Everything actually looks pretty nice.
Yeah, it does look really great. I mean, yeah, it's just works like expected, and it works, and they're humanoid characters. It's great.
It's awesome to see what can be done with the engine and all that too. Like what potential mods or community projects might be there in the future.
Yeah, that's what's most exciting about it to me, is that this shows that human characters can be put into the game even with the current rig. So you can, like in the future, I don't know, you can probably do it right now. I don't know if there are any limitations currently, but you will be able to make your own rigs and all that, of course. But just seeing a human character in the game for the first time is really cool. It's like a proof of concept almost for me.
Yeah, just like I said, it shows that once the game actually is released, the capabilities for mods that could be released they're just phenomenal. It can be I can imagine a whole separate campaigns with potential completely different universes or different ideas to them being released for this.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the Oni mod by EDT. You can, of course, as usual, download it by following the link in the agenda. Right there. Next we have Sparkleflips by N. McCoy. Yay! Actually, haven't tried out this mod myself, but I think these images will give you an idea of what it does. Yeah, it adds sparks to your flips. What more is there to say, man? So this mod in general, like, this is one of those funny mods that you're like, oh yeah, Sparkleflips, alright.
Yeah, once again, it's kind of a nifty thing on its own, but it's nice to see that the effects are editable and applicable to whatever you want them to be. Like I said, it's just another idea that this could be applied to some bigger thing eventually is exciting.
Yeah, I totally agree. So those are the Sparkleflips by N. McCoy. If you need a bit more, I guess, effect in your flips in Overgrowth, you can download this mod, and he's got you covered, Mr. N. McCoy. Next we have a video. It's Suspension 2, work in progress by Horidius. So Horidius is making a map. If you remember a guy called, who was it? I don't actually remember who made the original now. Do you remember who made the original? Jack the Awesome?
I'm not sure.
I think it was Jack the Awesome. But yeah, Jack the Awesome. My edit of Jack the Awesome suspension map. Yeah, memory win. And and so Horidius is like extending Jack the Awesome's map to make it even longer and even more insane. Which it really didn't need. It was insane enough.
It seems pretty crazy, especially because if you fall, it's over. You got to start over again.
Yeah, exactly.
No remorse. I don't know how many people have played Counter-Strike Source or have played the surf maps that they had for those, but this immediately reminded me of those maps where you used a little physics glitch in the engine with angled surfaces, which allowed characters to move very quickly and kind of fly around environments. They had was very similar to Think of This, where you'd be flying around, and it was more of like a parkour style map than an actual shooter.
Mm-hmm.
This reminds me very much of that.
Yeah, same here. Like that's what I think about. I'm just trying to think of some way that this could be done while giving the player more freedom. So because right now it's just basically timing your shift clicks or whatever button you're using to do the wall jumps properly, and making sure that you have the right speed so you end up in the place you want to be. Which is, of course, I mean, it's fun. I'm not saying it's bad in a way. It's just that it would be nice if you could add your own flavor to it, and maybe have more paths than one through a level and things like that.
Yeah, and I can see this becombined with just other parkour style challenges as well, being put together, almost kind of like Mirror's Edge mixed with CS surf maps.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool. They're really exciting, the future of, I guess, weird game modes for Overgrowth. So that's the Suspension 2 map, work in progress by Horidius. Hopefully we will be able to download this map quite soon, because I want to fail horribly several times in a row on a level, so this looks like it's something for me.
Yeah, it's like something I'd be stuck on for quite a while. But also, I'm stubborn, so I'd probably keep doing it over and over until I eventually got it.
Yeah, of course.
Good way to take up a couple of hours.
Mm-hmm. Always fun to waste some time sometimes. Okay, that's the Suspension 2 work in progress by Horidius. And I actually made, it's not on the agenda, but I just remembered that I made actually a tutorial during the week. It's not a tutorial on the actual game, on the actual editor, it's more a tutorial on how to update Overgrowth.
Hi, my name is Silverfish. I'm also known.
So in this tutorial I go through how to download the latest update and how to apply it, but I have a feeling that I'm going to need to make another video about this quite soon.
Cough, cough.
Cough, cough, yes, indeed. Oh, damn it.
Uh-oh.
I think it was warranted though. It was a good place for the indeed.
Strike one.
God damn it. I don't want 3 strikes, man. But yeah, if you want to update Overgrowth, yeah, I guess this video is for you. It's on the OG Weekly channel, and I'm going to try to make more tutorials in the future. So look forward to that. I'm actually going to put aside some time that I actually don't have to make more content for you guys. So it's
Awesome.
going to be great. All right, so moving on. That's the community segment for this week. Okay, moving on to the community side note segment, where we try to, it's kind of like the community segment, but we try to go a bit quicker. So first we have this Turtledude by Nextbam that we covered several times before. He's been working on this guy for quite some time, and he went away for a while and now he's back. I actually need to check if he updated anything. No, okay. This is the current state of the model.
The model seems very impressive. It's very detailed.
Yeah, like I like the new changes that he made to the model, and yeah, it just looks amazing.
And also inherently, I think, I'm sure I'm not the only one, but it reminds me kind of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles a little bit.
Yeah, for obvious reasons.
And imagine with 2 katanas or something, that could be a real fun thing to play as.
I totally agree. Playing as a turtle, it just feels so. It feels like a weird thing. And that makes it like, it feels like it would be really great to play as a turtle.
I think it'd be kind of an interesting way to kind of expand the combat a little bit too, because, you know, potentially the character could be a bit slower, but then you've also got armor, you know, very thick armor on your back and on your stomach. So maybe, you know, only hits to your sides or your legs might actually count or something like that. It'd be kind of an interesting way to explore that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because as you obviously know, right now they have the sharpness maps for the weapons, and maybe they could do something similar for character models.
Yeah, I can definitely see that being a possibility.
So yeah, really looking forward to seeing this evolve more. Hopefully he will someday be able to get this guy into the game.
Yeah, it would be awesome to see.
So that is Nextbam's Turtledude character. Moving on, we have, of course, Anton's main menu mod that was updated. He added Zed's Bandit Hideout map and Corbin 3's Dog Hammer mod that was included in the Bandit's Hideout map. And if you're wondering what this thing is, it's actually a collection of a lot, like over 50 user-created levels. So if you're looking for some custom content for Overgrowth, you should totally check it out.
There's a word of warning if you haven't downloaded it yet. The first time you download it, it's going to be almost 500 megabytes of content. We've got a lot of stuff in there now.
Yeah. But,
which is great.
Yeah,
but it's just so you know.
It's totally worth it though. And of course you've made the auto updater for this, so could you quickly like tell us what that's about?
So the mod auto updater is just a Java application that connects to Anton's website and checks all the content on the website, compares it to the content you have on your computer, and makes updates wherever it needs to. So if you already have most all of it up to date, and there's just a couple of new maps. When you run it, it only has to download the new content. So if he only updates 1 or 2 maps, then it might only be like a 20 megabyte update, and it'll only take a couple of minutes. So just that initial download will be really large. But yeah, it's just a tool to help keep your mods and your maps up to date.
Yeah, a really great one at that. It just works really great.
Well, most of the time. One thing to note is you do need to have Java installed in order for the application to run, and you also need to have the application be in a folder where the entire folder hierarchy has no spaces in it, because unfortunately the way it has to be run, I have to make a call to the Windows command prompt in a very indirect way, and any spaces in the command I have to send kind of breaks it. So you have to have it in a folder with no spaces. So if that's a hard thing, you could always just make a folder at the root of your C drive and put it in there, and then that should work fine if you're having troubles.
Yep. There are a few weird things, but they're not your fault, are they?
Well, I mean, I'm sure there are ways I could go about fixing them, but I've got other things, potentially things we might be talking about in a little bit that, well, we'll wait for that.
Yeah. All right, so that's the community side note segment. Moving on to the news segment, where we take a look at news for obvious reasons. First up, we have art asset overview number 26. That Aubrey, the art dude for Overgrowth, has created. So let us take a look. So how we'll do this is we'll just pause the video if you want to comment on anything that happens. So just shout out if you want to pause it. And I'm playing it in 3, 2, 1, play.
Welcome to the Overgrowth Art Asset Overview. I've been pretty busy over the holidays with non-Overgrowth related activities, but I did manage to get some work done. Here I was trying to redesign the Snowblood concept to make it work a little bit better in the game engine. I'm not totally happy with it, so I might use this concept for some other character. I also did a festival concept for New Year's Eve, which you can see here.
What do you think about the festival concept you made?
I thought it looked really nice. I really liked
I worked on a lot
how
of
the sky blended in with the mountains and just the coloring he used.
Yeah.
The dark blues and the warm orange for the fire. I was thinking just the flames lapping off of the log that he's carrying across his shoulders. It looks really, I don't know if the word is for it. It looks like it's like literally lapping off the end of it. There's little embers and such.
Yeah, it looks really great. I think I might have been subconsciously affected by this image when I lighted my own render before. Now that I look at it.
With the coloring, the color scheme of it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I really like that pattern, and I just kind of like the layout with the moon kind of at the top, and it's kind of almost like a semicircle kind of shape to it. The whole image, kind of curves downwards.
Yeah, it has a really nice layout. I would like to
Seems
have
like
this.
It would make like a good poster.
Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say that. I would like to have this on my wall. It's like perfect poster format.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on.
exciting. For example, I did the morphs for the
Okay, it seems like it's like showing the wrong part for some reason.
Technical difficulties.
eyes, and I also
Yeah, technical difficulties for sure.
I worked on a lot of small
There we go.
details that are not very exciting. For example, I did the morphs for the Raider's mouth, hands, and eyes, and I also added the tinting masks so that he can be colored any color you want. I was inspired by some user-created levels to rebuild some of the challenge levels from Lugaru. Here we can see the original challenge level 2 and compared with the remake that I just completed.
So this remake, just paused at the remake here at 1 minute 11 seconds. What do you think about it? Do you think it looks nice?
I think the contrast between how Lugaroo and how Overgrowth look is just no, amazing.
Yeah.
Almost went there. Anyways, yeah, just going from shot to shot, looking at it, it's
Awe-inspiring.
awe-inspiring. It's awe-inspiring how much better Overgrowth looks. Just right offhand, that's the coloring of it and the shading and all that with the new engine. It looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it's just great to be able to see how things have changed over the last couple of years.
I agree. The scale, when you look at it in Overgrowth, it just feels much more bigger and much more epic.
Yeah.
It's really, really great.
And just a lot of little details kind of jump out at me when looking between the two, just like how his ears kind of sway when he runs around, things like that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So playing again in 3, 2, 1, play.
It's exciting to me
technical
to be able to
difficulties.
directly compare the Overgrowth and Lugaroo levels and see the difference in quality. One thing I learned from redoing the Lugaroo levels is that most of the levels I was designing for Overgrowth were just way too big. Here's the original challenge level 1 from Lugaroo. I also remade this one. David showed it off, but I've been working on some of the details a bit more. I added grass maps and some decals. These Lugaroo style cypress trees are new also. That's it for this art asset overview. Don't forget, you can try the game out if you pre-order at wolfire.com/preorder. Thanks.
And yeah, some technical difficulties there, as you probably saw. I don't know, it hasn't done that before, but apparently it kind of, when I pause and then play it, it'll like go from the beginning, but then it'll like speed through everything and then get back up to where I was. It's not supposed to do that, obviously. Hopefully that'll be fixed the next split soon. But yeah, the second level, the snow level, also of course looks really great. It really looks like the previous level from Lugaroo, but it's just new.
Yeah. One thing I also thought was nice about that is, like I said, going back to the attention to detail thing. Even back in Lugaroo, when he jumps through the tree, like these little leaves kind of shoot off to the side. Which, I mean, he made that when he was in high school. I don't know.
Yeah.
David's crazy.
He is crazy. Yeah, attention to detail. Like it's the details that makes a game, in my opinion. Like I mean, of course, a game can be good when it's not very detailed. It can be fine, but if you want a really great game, you need to. It's all the details that make that.
Yeah, it's what makes it stand out. It's what makes you kind of notice it.
Yeah, exactly. So that was this week's art asset overview. Hopefully we'll see another one real soon, because I appreciate them. I like them a lot.
Yeah, I like when he's able to publish those. I realize that obviously all of the Wolfire people are pretty busy, but it's nice when they do have time to make some content for the community to see.
Absolutely. Moving on, we have a tweet. We're moving on to the tweets. Attaching items to characters. So, David says, working on attaching items to characters, like I said a second ago. In the editor using alt-click. This way they can start out with weapons already equipped.
Which is cool, just because then you can set up user-made maps. Could have a lot more of a nice setup to them. You could have, different challenges with different enemies, with different, different weapons to face and all that.
Mm-hmm. Like you can kind of do this right now, where you just put a weapon really close to a character, but it's just not the most effective way to do it. It's of course much better if you can just tell the game that this character is holding this weapon now, so the other character shouldn't probably be like, oh, weapon, before he grabs it.
Mad rush for the weapon. I'm sure also he'll add other things that the characters are able to hold as well. I'm not sure exactly what he has in mind, but
yeah, I noticed that, because he's always calling them items. He's not calling them weapons. He's saying working on attaching items to characters. So
yes, generic wording.
Yeah.
Probably on purpose.
Mm-hmm. So maybe we'll see some other items as well. That armor system, man. Okay, so next tweet. Let's check it out. Okay, it's tweet attaching items. Tweet knife slashing animation. He's obviously working on like items and stuff like that in general. So testing out knife slashes as animation blend layers. They require very little force behind them, so they don't need to take away leg control. Are you excited about having knives in the game?
Well, it was a very major part of Blue Guru.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it'll be kind of interesting to see how it compares, how it feels in comparison to Blue Guru.
Yeah, I'm getting the feeling that they're kind of editing the current game to like they're like making Lugaru in Overgrowth. It's what it feels like to me, because
Trying to mimic it.
Yeah, since Aubrey is making these Lugaru levels and porting them to Overgrowth, and now we have the ability to like attach weapons to characters, something that isn't really necessary, but he obviously put it in there for a reason, maybe just to make the levels feel more complete, I guess.
And I feel like a good reason they might be doing all of this, trying to make it feel kind of more like Lugaru, at least for testing purposes, is because once they have it set up like that, they can, you know, do playtests with it and see, does this feel as good as Lugaru did? And if there's something that feels like it's missing, then it's really obvious to them and they can make those changes and update the build.
Exactly. So I guess probably since they have the knife slash animation, we will probably see the actual knife combat in the next build that's coming out in within 24 hours, or maybe the build after that. We'll see.
Hopefully sometime soon.
Yep. So great stuff. Great stuff. I'm really looking forward to the knife combat. Knives are great. Okay, so next tweet, item management. So someone asked, and this is showing that asking for information is actually fruitful when you're dealing with a Wolfire. He asked, do you think you could work on being able to sheath / equip weapons so you can carry a knife and a sword? And David answers, yes, I'm planning to work on that pretty soon. Yay. And this is just more information pointing towards that they're kind of making Lugaru in Overgrowth right now.
Yeah.
Which is, of course, really, really great.
Which basically makes it a playable game even at this point, even though it's not nearly finished.
Yeah, exactly. I see that I don't have the latest agenda. I should update. I still don't have the latest agenda. There we go. So we were at item manager. Okay, so next up, Reddit 1000 subscribers. If you didn't know yet, Overgrowth has a subreddit. Is that what it's called? An Overgrowth subreddit? Cool. And over there you can of course find loads of cool videos and whatnot. It's just really cool stuff, and it has gone over 1,000 readers in this week, which is nice, of course.
We've had a large influx of new Secret Creator Forum users, so I feel like they may be related there.
Yeah, and of course, Wolfire made this post where they were like, hey, check out the Reddit, man. We have a subreddit. And I think that pulled in a lot of people as well.
Yeah. There's been a couple of things. That Nerd Cubed video definitely helped things as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We kind of talked about that last week. A lot of stuff happened at the same time, and suddenly there were like a billion pre-orderers in like a couple of days. It was pretty crazy.
I feel like we could tell the difference on the IRC. There are a lot of people coming in asking for help and needing support.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because on the Wolfire forums you already have a lot of information, so people often don't need to ask about anything, but on the Reddit, a lot of stuff hasn't been said yet. So people who are only on Reddit and not on the Wolfire forums come to Reddit and they're like, hey, what about multiplayer, man? And we're like, yeah, it's that time again. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It feels good, like answering questions and stuff. I like it.
Yeah, well, it's nice helping people and just knowing that there's people who are interested in it,
Yeah, exactly. And the Reddit format, I find that the Reddit format is really useful for some things, especially like getting content like videos out there. Because I find like a bunch of videos on here, and yeah, it's just accessible in a different way, I guess.
Yeah, it's really easy to just kind of jump from piece to piece, so it's a nice format for videos and media.
Yeah, exactly. So we highly recommend the Overgrowth subreddit. You should totally check it out.
So that's at reddit.com/r/overgrowth.
Exactly. And of course you can also get there right through the agenda by just clicking that link right there. And this is the end of the news segment where we've got these secret announcements to make. So Aaron, I'm gonna let you take it away, man.
Okay, so over the last week or two, there have been 4 of us working on this project. There's myself, Anton, who obviously is unable here to talk about it, unfortunately, Johannes, and Sai. And we've been working together on a project that we've decided to call, and actually Silverfish named this for us, Some OG Utilities. And this is going to be a whole package of tools to use. So Some OG Utilities stands for settings, updates, and maps, Overgrowth utilities. And this is kind of like a 3-part project. So the first part is an application that I've written, which we're going to release an initial version of today, which is not going to have the full functionality, but will be useful. A website that Sai is currently working on, and an in-game user interface that Johannes is working on that will communicate with my application. So the way this works is you'll download my application, and you just place it in your Overgrowth directory, and you run it, and it acts as a launcher for Overgrowth. It allows you to edit your config file, and it also updates Overgrowth. It acts as an auto-updator. And the one thing to note about this, as compared to the Mac auto-updator, the one main difference for Mac users is that with the Mac auto-updator, unfortunately, you can only update one alpha at a time. If you have version 1.6.1 and the new version is 1.6.2, then you're fine. But if you have 1.6.1 and the new version is 1.6.3, and you try to update, it can cause problems. So with my application, it can go back from multiple alphas, going all the way back to, I believe, alpha 1.12, which is where Jeff started using the updater. And actually, my program pulls everything from the same server that he uses. So I wanted to thank you for that. So listen, my application acts as a launcher, as a config editor, and the updater for now. Though in the future, once the update is done for the website and also for the in-game script, the way it will work is once my program is running, when you launch Overgrowth, my program kind of hides in the background. And then the in-game user interface that Johannes is making will actually be a mod browser where you can actually browse all available mods that will be cataloged on the website with ratings and tags and all sorts of things like that. And you can view it all within the in-game browser. And when you decide you want to install a mod, all you have to do is click the download button. And at that point, Johannes' script tells my program, go get the stuff. My program downloads everything and installs it for you, and you can keep all of your mods organized and installed that way. And then Sai is making the website, is going to have this nice website where you can go on and view all those, all the mods and all the maps from your web browser, and also we'll hopefully have a way for the people who make the mods to update and upload their own content to the server to be published to the games.
So it's basically the ultimate mod or the ultimate utility for Overgrowth.
That's what we're hoping, yes. We want to make it as easy for users to access community content as possible.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is really great. This is what Wolfire wants to do with the game. If I've understood what they've said, they want to have like the updater in the game, and they want to have the place where you can browse the mods, and of course they want to have an options menu. It's, yes. I'm blown away by this mod. It's not a mod even. It's a program.
At the moment it's just the external program. Like I said, the initial release of this is just the launcher, which will basically the only added content is the nice config editor, which instead of having to type everything out, there are checkboxes and drop-down menus and such that I have in there to make it easier for new users to understand what each option means and make it easier to update. And then also for Windows users, it acts as like an auto-updater. For Mac users, it's not going to be quite as useful, but this program will work on both Windows and Mac. I've done testing in both. Anton has been nice enough to let me pester him continuously for the last week or so with updates and builds. And so I can confirm that this does work both in Windows and Mac. And when Linux support is released for Overgrowth, we do plan on having this work in Linux as well.
Nice. So I'm going to show how this actually works here. So let's jump back into here. So here are I have my Overgrowth folder open, and all you need to do is download this application and put it in your Overgrowth folder, sumlauncher.jar right there. Just open it up. Let's see, it actually was over there. You'll get this window. Actually, you won't get this window the first time. I forgot to change that, but you will be asked for your alpha key before you can actually start the application. Just have some.
So that's one thing that we need to make note of is, in order to prevent pirates from being able to use the tools, we do require that you enter your secret pre-order forum key, which is that key that was emailed to you when you pre-order the game. But you only have to enter that once, and then it saves that information so that it's not an annoying thing.
Yeah, which is, I think it's okay. Like, it's some DRM. Of course, Wolfire in general are very anti-DRM, but I think this isn't too bad. I think it's fine, actually.
Yeah, and one thing we're actually hoping for the future is, because the secret pre-order forum key, a lot of people don't really even have it or know where it is or what it is. In the future, we're going to hope to update this so that you'll actually just use your forum username and password and log in with that one time, and that will then work for you. And I think that will be unobtrusive enough to not be an issue.
Cool. All right. So when you have entered your oh, it says I'm up to date. Okay. Actually, I'm going to restart this so I can show you the updating thing, because that's it's just really cool. Okay, so what I'm going to do is make it think that my version is actually not up to date by editing this file right here. Now you know how to fool this program too. Haha.
If you really do want to fool it, all you have to do is go to your version file and change a couple of numbers around, and it'll think you need an update.
Yes. So there it is. Update found. Downloading information, and I get this nice window right here, showing the changes, a changelog there, and image even, and you just hit update alpha right there. And
once again, I'd like to thank Jeff for that, because I'm stealing both that image and the changelog from the information he publishes each week.
Absolutely. They're such nice guys, the Wolfire team. And once, yeah, as you can see, it's updating to the latest alpha. It's just downloading all the files and uploading them. What I'm saying, unpacking them into your Overgrowth directory, and it should work.
Mm-hmm. If all goes well.
Yeah. Let's hope it does. And then, of course, let's actually cancel this and instead jump into the config editor. Right here, you have a nice user interface to edit your entire config file as well. And I have confirmed that this does actually work. I did try it out, because I have been reinstalling Overgrowth several times because I was chasing bugs a bit. And so this is going to be really, really useful for me as well. Like for anyone, even if you're used to editing the text files, just having it really accessible like this is going to make it much easier to change your settings.
Yeah, and I just added a couple of things to make things a little clearer, because, for example, the anti-aliasing setting, I think in the text file is called multi-sample, and then there's just a number value, which can be a little bit confusing. So I've done things like I've renamed them and added drop-down menus for those which are more appropriate, I feel, for a user who may not be as experienced with the engine.
Yeah, which is really great. And that's all there is to this program right now. Like, you have the editor, you have the updating, and you can launch the game, of course.
Mm-hmm. And just one or two things to note for if there are potential issues, which, I mean, I guess I've done as much testing of this as I can, but no application is perfect. If the application does have a problem and ends up crashing, it should write to an error log, which you could send to me, which I could write that email down. And then also, the application is able to update itself. So if I do some bug fixes, or if we add some new features, and I publish an update, then the next time you run the application, it'll just alert you that there's an update to the application available, and then you just tell it that you would like to update, and it'll do everything for you.
I have a question. Will these external things be bundled with the mod managing part of the game?
What do you mean exactly?
Like, yeah, you'll have the in-game part where you can like download mods, right? In the future. Will you be able to get just that part, or will you have to get the updater and the config editor? You know, do you need the launcher and the mod at the same time, or can you get just one of them if you want to?
The launcher is going to be required because, and the only reason we're doing this is because of this. At the moment, the way that the in-game web browser and WebKitten and all that stuff we can interact with websites with works, we can't directly download files. So the in-game mod browser, you'd be able to like view what mods are available, but there'd be no way to download them, which is why my application is there. Like I said, it just kind of hides in the background. It runs in the background while you're playing, and when you select, I want to download this map or this mod from the in-game UI using Johannes's script, what it really does is it's going to tell my program, hey, I need you to download this, and then my program does have the ability to do that.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. That's the application, man.
And we'll be posting a topic in the modding subforum on the secret pre-order forum very soon, and we're working on I got people working in the background here getting that post ready. So that'll be up hopefully within a few minutes.
Great.
And like so this is going to be we're calling it an alpha release because, like I said, we haven't been able to do any testing, and it also doesn't have the full features of what this will eventually have. We're calling it the 1.0 alpha release, but that will be up, like I said, hopefully within a few minutes.
I think it's worthy of the A word, so I'm gonna say that it's awesome.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Taking a second strike just for that.
This is big, man.
Wow.
For the occasion, there you go.
I'm honored.
Yes, you should be. Yeah, so some audio utilities. I'll change the agenda, the text there. I'll change that to a link. So if you're watching this in the archives, you'll be able to click that to download the little application. And yeah, that's the end.
I hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah. And that's also the end of Overgrowth Weekly for this week.
All right.
So thank you, Aaron, for joining me.
Well, thanks for having me on the show.
And thank you for watching. And Anton will probably be back next week together with me. So we'll see you next week, man.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.